Okay, so we just kind of looked at adding those words Alabama State Fair, right? And kind of how to like make it mix a little bit nicer with the image. And I feel like we kind of did that by allowing the white space to move up into the type, right? Making it white and allowing the images here of the people to kind of mix a little bit with the typography. But you'll notice that some of the other things that we have to do, we have to add like the name of the band, and a date and kind of like what the event is, right? So I just want to look at that a little bit and we'll kind of fill the rest of this out and I'll kind of talk through it as I'm doing it. So again, I'm just going to click one time and it always goes back to the default of what was just used, and that was the type for Alabama State Fair. And I'm going to just click on the cap locks and I'm going to type in the name of like a band that's supposedly playing at this state fair. Um, and so you can see that that type is pretty darn big. And I'm just going to go into my character palette, right? Window type character. And I'm using Helvetica Neue and I'm going to see like what else is there. So there's this condensed black, right? And so I'm going to like highlight my text and I'm going to under bold, hold down condensed black. And you can see that it shows you a preview, right, as you scroll through the type. So I'm going to choose condensed black and I'm going to make it a different color. I clicked on red. And I might add 65 to that leading, right? I'm just trying to add a little bit more air. And I'm just going to drag that down and try to get it to align a little bit better. And so, okay, that's not looking too bad. That's starting to pop a little bit, right? And the name of the band would obviously be like one of the most important things. And again, I'm going to click one time. I'm going to that type tool, and I'm just going to type in caps, right? Right, a band. And I'm just going to swipe over that. And I think the thing that everyone here needs to kind of understand is that, you know, 110 point type is big type, right? And yeah, it's a poster. You need to be able to read it as you're passing by. But the type a band, like we're going to try this at like 24 point. I'm just typing in 24 there and hitting return. And I know that people are probably like, oh my God, it's tiny. But in all honesty, you guys, 24 point type is pretty big type when you see it in the real world. And I'll click on it and I'll make it red. I'm clicking on red. And then one of the things that we're doing as part of this demo is we're adding lines between the rows of type, right? And I'm just going to go up to the rectangle tool and I'm going to get the line segment tool. And I'm just going to just click and I'm holding the shift key down and I'm trying to create kind of like a decorative line on the left side of a band. And then I'm going to go window and I'm going to go down to stroke, right? And I'm going to, so I can see the stroke, and it's actually kind of hidden here behind some other things. Here you go. And with it selected, I'm just going to start to make it, you know, bigger. And I think maybe 10 point is maybe the initial way that we did it in the demo. And I'm gonna go up to my swatches and I'm gonna bring the stroke to the top. So I'm coloring the stroke and I'm gonna choose red. And I'm gonna click off, and there you see I've got like a stroke between the name of the band and then a band. And I'm gonna click one time on that stroke and I'm gonna Command C to copy, Command F to paste in place, right? And then there's two copies there, one on top of the other. I'm going to click and hold down here, and I'm holding down my shift key, and I'm just going to drag over until the right side of that line matches up with the right side of the illustration, right? The word Duran and the image. And then I'm going to let go. So you can see that I'm starting to build kind of some interesting kind of hierarchy with the two sizes and the boldness, and that this is condensed, and this Alabama State Fair was not a condensed typeface, and I have this line that's kind of interesting. So then there's a few more things that we're going to add here. I'm going to click right from Britain. I'm going to go back into my character, and I'm going to just choose this typeface, Rosewood. And I'm not a big decorative type person, but you know, I mean, it can make it feel a little bit festive. Choosing type that maybe is a little bit more decorative, and I'm going to add a little bit more letting or space between the lines, and I'll go ahead and maybe make it a slightly different color. It doesn't have to be. And so it basically filled it with black, and it stroked it with right? But really all I want to do is click on it, click on the fill, and then choose a fill color. And it's going to give me the cleanest looking kind of reproduction of the image or the typography. And there's something kind of interesting about using this typeface, right, and putting the words "from Britain." It just kind of breaks you out of the kind of Helvetica that's going on here. And then again, I'm going to put a stroke between "from Britain" and then the tour, the next line. So I'm going to click on the line segment tool. I'm holding down the shift key, and I'm just going to make a whole line. I'll make it red. I'll go into my stroke weight and type in 10, right? So again, I have to make sure I'm choosing stroke and the fill and stroke, and then I'm choosing a color. And then so you can see that it just starts kind of building kind of an interesting look and feel. And then I can go back and I'm going to click in very quickly. American Tour, and then I'll click again, the date. And so in the next segment of the video, we're just going to in the next video, we're just going to kind of look at like all of the choices that got made and why.